There exists within you a facet concealed from the gaze of the world, not due to your humility, nor from a place of timidity, but for you have been skillfully taught to conceal it. A frigid demeanor, a resolute nature, a facet that neither yields nor justifies, that seeks no validation. At this moment, that aspect of your being lies imprisoned beneath the burdens of frailty instilled in you. From your earliest days, exhibit benevolence, exercise restraint, exhibit a shrewd comprehension of the motives and desires of others. All commendable phrases, all virtuous in appearance, yet beneath them lay a treacherous venom. For when individuals urge you to exhibit kindness, what they truly imply is to render yourself pliable to their influence. When they urge you to exercise patience, what they truly imply is to refrain from resistance. When they urge you to forgive, what they truly desire is to manipulate you into submission once more. Niccolò Machiavelli discerned the intricacies of this game many centuries ago. He cautioned those in power. Humanity is marked by ingratitude, capriciousness, and a propensity for deceit. So long as you achieve victory, they shall remain under your dominion. Yet, at the instant of your misstep, they shall reveal their true colors. What implications does this hold for your interests? The allegiance you perceive from others is merely an illusion, a facade that dissipates like mist in the morning light. It signifies their affection, their esteem, their camaraderie. The majority of it hinges upon certain conditions. The latter presents a considerable inconvenience. They shall betray you without hesitation. Should you fail to forge yourself into an indomitable force, the world shall surely shatter you. The feeble incarnation of yourself must be extinguished. Let us dispense with pleasantries and confront the truth with unyielding candor. At this very moment, a version of you exists that is utterly contemptible. It expresses regret when such an admission is unwarranted. It reveals its truths to those unworthy of such revelations. It yields merely to sidestep discord. It bestows its gifts without foresight, only to lament when its generosity is taken advantage of. The incarnation of your former self is ill-suited for the harsh realities of existence, for this realm offers no accolades to the naive. It exacts retribution. Contemplate each instance where your trust was bestowed with undue haste. Each occasion you extended the grace of uncertainty to another. Each instance you prioritize another's ease over your own fortitude. What fruits did it yield for you? Esteem. Indeed, the answer is in the negative. It bestowed upon you scorn, cunning deceit, and treachery. Machiavelli would convey this with utmost clarity. It is more advantageous to inspire fear than to evoke love. Should one find oneself unable to achieve both sentiments, the feeble incarnation of yourself, the innocuous facade, must be vanquished. For to be harmless does not equate to being virtuous. To be harmless is to be vulnerable, and the vulnerable are destined to be consumed. Secondly, the stronghold of the intellect. The initial stride towards achieving invincibility lies in the construction of what I term the impenetrable fortress of the mind. The majority of individuals find themselves subservient to their own passions. They perceive a slight. They detonate with fervor. They are drawn by an irresistible allure. They pursue relentlessly. They become filled with trepidation. They flee. Are you aware of how that appears to those who hunt in the shadows? It appears as a marionette, its strings conspicuously displayed for all to see. The stronghold of the mind severs the ties. It remains unresponsive. It assesses with cunning precision. When an adversary strikes, do not show weakness or vulnerability. Observe them with keen insight. Consider, if you will, the desires that drive them. What compels us to act at this juncture? What trepidation do they harbor should I choose to remain silent? Each affront, each menace, each act of treachery, it is not mere suffering. It is but a mere collection of knowledge. You remain unyielding. You assess. The subsequent maneuver is to extinguish the desire for comprehension, the insatiable desire to justify oneself, to seek the understanding of others. Serves merely as an unseen tether, binding one to the whims of public perception. Each time you lay bare your innermost musings, you bestow upon another the schematics to ensnare your will. The citadel of thought remains shrouded in stillness. It flourishes in enigma. When your intentions remain shrouded in mystery, you become impervious to the snares of others. Step 3. Cultivate resilience through the embrace of discomfort. Feeble individuals construct their existence upon the foundation of ease. When the initial wave of true adversity strikes, they falter and fall. One must act contrarily, deliberately pursue discomfort, hasten to consume when the opportunity presents itself. Engage in training even when fatigue weighs heavily upon you. Resist the siren call of your emotions, for they may lead you astray. Instead, wield the power of denial when the heart pleads for acquiescence. Machiavelli articulated it with clarity. A ruler reliant on chance is destined for ruin. A ruler who wields discipline as his weapon holds dominion over fate itself. 3. The unyielding truth of allegiance. Here lies a truth that many are ill-equipped to confront. Allegiance is but a fleeting illusion. Your companions, your confidants, even your kin, their allegiance is but a fleeting shadow, sustained solely by the promise of personal gain. And when that advantage dissipates, so too does their allegiance. Should you refuse this, you shall remain perpetually ensnared by the treachery that lurks in the shadows. Yet, upon embracing this truth, the sting of betrayal diminishes, rendering it a mere shadow of its former self. One anticipates it. One must meticulously ready oneself for the impending challenge. And when the moment arrives, you shall not falter. You adapt. Contemplate the cunning and strategic maneuvers of Michael Corleone in The Godfather Part 2. He displayed no tears when his brother chose treachery over loyalty. He did not lament the perceived injustices of his situation. He maintained his composure. He meticulously assessed the circumstances. And when the moment presented itself, he resolved the matter with finality. That is the bastion of intellect. Such is the path of cunning and strategy. For labels serve as instruments of power. Herein lies the element that shall inflict the most discomfort. When one sheds the shackles of weakness, the enmity of others often follows. For strength breeds resentment among the feeble. When you cease to be a pawn in their game, they shall label you as frigid. When you cease to comply, they shall label you as haughty. When you cease to adhere to their dictates, they shall brand you as malevolent. Allow them to proceed. Such labels do not embody the essence of truth. They are instruments wielded by the feeble. Instruments wielded by the feeble, striving to coerce you into submission through the weight of their scorn. One must remain impervious to the allure of mere words. For the moment you allow yourself to be swayed by the insignificance of labels, you have already conceded defeat. 5. Extending influence beyond one's immediate realm. Merely defending oneself is a feeble endeavor. Machiavelli cautions sovereigns that mere seclusion within their strongholds invites adversaries to bide their time, ultimately leading to their inevitable triumph. One must exhibit strength to the world beyond. Such actions do not necessitate the use of loud outbursts or menacing gestures. Such a stance does not imply the need for ostentation. The powerful do not proclaim their might. They allowed it to escape in hushed tones. Herein lies the method. One must never engage in conflict upon the terrain of another, for it is there that the advantage lies with the master of the ground. Those who wield manipulation will endeavor to ensnare you in disputes that favor their own designs. Refrain from engaging in frivolous pursuits. Allow them to perceive your demeanor as passive, only to unleash your decisive action later. Stealthily targeting the areas of true significance. Maintain an air of inscrutability. Refrain from revealing that which stirs your ire, that which captures your affection, or those whom you place your faith in. Ignorance breeds trepidation, for the fewer the minds that grasp the truth, the greater the shadows of dread that loom. Meticulously exacting retribution for treachery is paramount. Embrace the quietude of resolution, devoid of theatrics or leniency, delivering only the weight of silence and irrevocable closure. Eliminate them without hesitation. This is not a matter of exhibiting cruelty. It is a matter of achieving an inviolable status. 6. Cultivate the presence. Machiavelli recognized that the sway of one's reputation eclipses the might of the sharpest blade. When one cultivates an aura of peril, others will think twice before challenging your resolve. What strategies must one employ to cultivate such an imposing presence? Articulate sparingly, yet convey profound intent. Words diminish in potency when they are incessantly repeated. When you choose to utter your words, ensure they flow with deliberate slowness, an air of tranquility, and an unwavering control. Individuals shall cling to each utterance with unwavering attention. Exhibit not a trace of urgency. Desperation is the scent of vulnerability that draws the predators near. Once individuals perceive your dependence on their wealth, validation, or affection, they seize control over you. Proceed with the demeanor that all matters are devoid of urgency, that nothing holds true significance. Allow enigma to serve your ambitions. Conceal your true intentions. Exhibit your might in brief, dazzling displays, then retreat into the shadows. Whispers spread with greater swiftness than the slow ascent of one's honor. His words are few and carefully chosen. He is never hasty. Yet, each figure is acutely aware that this man embodies demise itself. That is a presence of undeniable influence. 7. Enduring dominion forged in the chill of calculated ambition. Pay heed, for herein lies the pitfall where many a man falters. They cultivate discipline, they forge strength, they craft an imposing presence, yet ultimately, they succumb to relaxation. They believe they have reached the pinnacle of success. They yield, they begin to falter, and the world, akin to a cunning pack of wolves, perceives without delay. Thus, it is stated that a ruler must acquire the art of forsaking virtue, wielding it only when it serves his interests. It is not a matter of embracing malevolence. It is essential to ensure that gentleness does not undermine your sharpness. Unyielding authority must endure eternally. It must endure beyond the whims of emotion, the weariness of the body, and the shadows of solitude. Your actions are dictated not by whim, but by the unyielding decree of your own design. Habit supplants sentiment. Guiding tenets supplant mere whims. Discipline supplants frailty. And when this essence becomes your very being, rather than a mere action, then no force shall have the power to shatter your resolve. No force can bind your will. No force can impede your ascent. The 8th, the ultimate phase. When others cast their gaze upon you, they shall perceive it with an undeniable intuition. They shall not perceive an individual in search of validation. They shall not perceive an individual susceptible to guilt, coercion, or deception. They shall undoubtedly perceive it. The unyielding rigor, the unwavering principles, the quiet dominion. They shall conspire in hushed tones rather than confront you directly. They shall reconsider their treachery, for they are acutely aware of the price they would pay. Indeed, that is the essence of cunning authority, not for the sake of mere cruelty, nor through boisterous threats or hollow bravado, but rather a demeanor, a principle, an unyielding fortress of the mind that remains impervious to upheaval. This realm shall perpetually challenge your resolve. Yet, upon conquering oneself, upon vanquishing the feeble semblance and supplanting it with the indomitable, one does not merely endure, one ascends to dominion. No force shall shatter your resolve, no power shall dictate your actions, and no obstacle shall hinder your advance. Your attention is duly noted and appreciated. Should you desire to witness an abundance of videos, ensure that you bestow your favor upon the like and subscribe button. Until our paths cross again.